to explain Excel's dynamic array functions. It's best to look at some simple examples of day-to-day uses of these functions. These new functions in Excel 365 will change how you do tasks, making analyzing your lists easier and quicker than ever before. So let's get started. I'm going to show you one of these functions, the unique function. I think it will be really beneficial for everyday Excel users. So let's give it a go. So let's have a look at this function in a workbook here where I have a list of countries. Now you can see here the list is quite long. It's going into 100 rows of data here. So the last country in this list is 107. Now there's repeated countries in that list, so I want to know how many in that list are just unique countries. So how many countries are actually in that list, and I want to just bring back one of each. And that's when we use the unique function. And the reason why it's called a dynamic array is because if the list changes, the answer that you get as the unique countries will also update. So let's give it a go. So we start inside of the cell where we'd like the list of the unique countries to begin. So I'm going to begin by clicking inside of C8. I then start with my equal sign and I begin to type in the name of the function that I want to use, which is going to be unique. And when I see it in the list, I simply double click on the function name. And we can see here we have an array. The array is the block of cells or the range of cells that it wants us to go and highlight. So we're going to say our first country is in A8. And we want to go all the way down to the bottom. So I'm going to do Control, Shift and the down arrow to bring me all the way down as far as A107. So I can see in my formula bar now, equals unique, A8 to A107. And if I click inside the formula bar, I can see the screen tip for the formula. Notice that the other parts of this formula are in square brackets, which means they are optional. So for now, just to show you this, I'm going to close the formula off. So it's basically just going to give me each unique entry between the cells A8 and A107. So when I hit return, I can see now, if I just scroll up a little bit here, I can see one of every country in the list. It's not a static answer, it's a dynamic answer, which means if I click into my list that exists already, and let's say I change one of these countries here to a country that doesn't already exist in this list. So let's say, for example, I enter in the word Ireland here. Ireland is now not in my unique countries list, but as soon as I hit return, the formula in cell C8 updates. And you can see now my unique list also has Ireland in it. So again, if I go over here and I change that back to Japan, let's say, you'll notice now Ireland has gone and disappeared from my dynamic list. If I was to add to the end of this list, you will find that the word Ireland, for example, would not have gone in. And that is because that formula is using a set range, A8 to A107. It's really handy when using any of these dynamic arrays to use tables instead of ranges. Tables are something we cover in other videos that we have on the YouTube channel. So by all means, go back and have a look at those tables videos. But for now, I'm going to convert this second list that I have here into a table. So I'm going to highlight the entire list. And then I'm going to use my shortcut to convert this into a table, which is Control and the letter T. It just confirms what it's going to make into a table, E7 to E107. So I press OK. And now I can see a color change, which means it is a table. And if I click into it, I also get to see the table design tab. So I know that this range now has been converted into a table. So when I'm doing the same formula, instead of referring to the cell references, I'm going to refer to the table itself. So I'm going to say equals unique. And the array, when I hover over the name of the countries column here, you'll notice I get a black down arrow. And when I click, it automatically puts in the name of the table followed by the name of the column into my formula. So now when I hit return, I get to see the unique values in that column. Again, if I was to enter in a new country in here, you will see that it automatically updates that country here. It now appears as a unique country. Let's say I change that back again to Brazil. If this time I go to the very end of my data, which is now a table, if I type the word Ireland in here, notice the way that the table expanded. So now Ireland is part of the table, which then means automatically my dynamic range has updated with Ireland at the bottom as well. So that's a really quick introduction to the unique function, which is a dynamic array. And we have loads of these different types of functions that we can use in Excel. This is the first of those that I'm introducing to you. Check out my YouTube channel to see parts 2 and part 3 of the Dynamic Arrays series to see how you can use the sort and filter to make your day-to-day life in Excel so much easier. You can subscribe to our channel in order to see more of these video shorts. Thanks for watching.